Hello, my good friends. 2.5 years ago, I launched my podcast, Leadership Synergized, with a focus on providing opportunities for you, today's leaders, to gain knowledge from individuals who have impacted lives in a positive and significant manner while serving others through a strengths-focused and values-based foundation. With this vision in mind, I am thrilled for you to have the opportunity to learn from the one and only Chris Robinson, the Executive Vice President of Maxwell Leadership. During this episode, we will be diving into leadership mastery with an individual who has truly mastered leadership, an individual who has earned the respect of highly effective leaders around the world and is now adding a title to his resume, that of author. That's right, Chris Robinson is now an author. Not only will you gain knowledge from Chris's experience and lessons learned in this episode as a leader, but you will also be rewarded with the opportunity to gain his insight that has now become his first book, Drift to Drive, a high achiever's guide to breaking the chains of complacency. I hope, my friends, that you're ready, and if you are, let's go meet and hear from the amazing Chris Robinson. One of the things in your title I want to come back to, the term high achiever. There may be individuals out there, we talked a bit earlier in our conversation, Mr. Robinson, about frontline managers, middle leaders, and, more and more today, I'm hearing from individuals who never expected to be in a supervisory or leadership type of function, whether it's in manufacturing, medical, government, or education. How can this book or this framework help them?
Yeah, and again, the high achiever is not about a role or a title. It's really a mindset. Because I would imagine that most of us have gone further than we anticipated where we would be earlier in our life. If I think back of, where I thought that I would be, dead or in jail, I am living well above and beyond what I had envisioned for myself as a child and from, where I came from. Came from a very middle class family, both working at General Motors, and we by no means did we have a ton. We were getting by, and I was just able to live well beyond that. And I think that's when I'm talking about the high achiever, it's really the mindset. It's really the person that's trying to do something. This book is not for somebody that's just not trying. I believe a high achiever is someone that says, hey, I can be, do, and have more in my life. And so it doesn't matter the title, the role. If you are trying to go further than you are right now, if you want to go from lukewarm to, back into on fire again in a specific area of your life, this is who this book is for. So it can help anybody, regardless of the industry.
Well said and well defined. I know you also talk a little bit in your book, Mr. Robinson, about action and busyness and ensuring it's the right action. And hey, I am one that's very guilty. You talk about non-value add, getting used to doing something and really being good at it and liking doing it, then stepping back and saying, what's that doing to the end goal we want to have in that regard?
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing. People are very busy, but it may not line up with where they want to go. So we have to take action to get to where we want to go, but you also have to know where you want to go. So in the book, I talk about two different types of complacency, and there's complacency hyperopia. Now, hyperopia is a optometry term for farsighted. So this person can see the big vision. They've got the big vision. They can see it. It's on their wall. It's on their dream board. They've got their vision board up. They've seen this all their life, but they have no idea where to start. They know the big vision, but they just can't start. Then there's complacency myopia. Now, complacency myopia, again, myopia, optometry term for nearsightedness. This person can see the next step, and they are always busy. They know it. They're busy. They're doing this. One week they're studying hiking. The next week they're studying, podcast. The next week they're studying, cycling, and they are always busy, but they never know where they're going. So the goal is to get that 2020 vision, and this book helps you bring that vision to pass and close that gap when it comes to your vision and the action that you take. And if we can get what we want to line up with the actions that we take, then things can move a lot faster. Because think about this, a lot of people that are watching, I would say that the mass majority of the people listening or watching this podcast wrote out goals at the beginning of the year, or they jotted down somewhere. You have a goal, whether you wrote it down, whether you verbalized it, whether you thought about it, you have a goal that you had at January 1st. Now, if you also have a to-do list and you went and looked back at that for yesterday, okay, now look at your to-do list and look back at your January 1 goals, and chances are they don't match. And the goal, if you want to get results, if you want to move forward, is that your daily to-do list, what you're doing daily, needs to line up with where you say you want to go on January 1. But too often, we have too many different goals, too many different things that we're chasing, and we get confused and we start to drift.
Building on what your last comments were on the drift and the confusion aspect, there are individuals, and again, I'm one that's made this mistake. You look out, you set a goal, and then where do I start at? And the world and the universe just broadens and broadens and gets deeper and deeper in that aspect. Considering your 7-step or your 7 framework pieces, for individuals who may be thinking, wow, 7 frameworks, how am I going to wrap my mind around that piece? Do they all interact, or can an individual look at one area at a time?
Yeah, you can definitely look at one area at a time, but they all work together. And then, if anything, you can short circuit the whole entire cycle by simply doing what you mentioned earlier, is learn a little bit and do a little bit. Okay, so you could get clear on what you want, learn a little bit about it, go do something about it, and then get clear on what you want, learn a little bit more, go do something about it. And if you take those steps, you can kind of short circuit the process. But if you take all 7 steps and you line those things up, I promise you the result's going to be greater, the speed's going to be greater, because these 7 steps all create an environment in order for you to move in the direction that you want to go.
As you describe the makeup of the book and sharing your experiences, Mr. Robinson, what comes to my mind that I'm hearing is that I'm most excited about a framework to help me move towards excellence in the focal point that really is just one step at a time. Sometimes that step may be backwards when we fail or make those mistake aspects, but talk a little bit about your experience and how do you look at the concept of excellence and then bring it towards your concept and framework.
Yeah, well, when you talk about excellence, I think that's where a lot of people get stuck. I think getting started is better than perfect. And so you get to excellence by moving forward. So instead of waiting till everything's perfect because you want to do it with excellence, well, just get started. Because when you get started, now you can look back and go, hey, okay, I can change this, I can tweak this. Because if all you're trying to do is make everything perfect on paper, guess what? When you deliver it, it's not going to come out excellent how you deliver it, how you set it up. Life is going to happen. And so, for me, it's just getting started and then tweak and change things along the way. But you cannot evaluate a result or tweak a result until you actually get a result. So instead of waiting for everything to be perfect, get started, do something, evaluate it, do it again. But you have to detach yourself from the outcome. All too often, what we do, and I talk about in the book, is when it comes to action, is that we peak too soon. And that's peak, that's taking a look. That means that we take a look at the result that we got from the action that we took, and then we make a decision on it. Like, oh my goodness, I just planted this corn yesterday, and I'm looking at it today. There's no corn there. This doesn't work. This is a scam. There's no corn here. Well, I don't think that really worked. And if we peak too soon, what happens is we end up leaving seeds scattered all around that we never see the fruit of because we simply didn't take time to stick with it. So don't peak too soon when it comes to action.
I love that analogy and example. What really hits home for me in experiences both that I've lived out in a number of roles, my background, manufacturing and education, it's all about that problem solving process, in the automotive, the 8D, the 5Y that's been brought into other segments, industrial, medical, et cetera. as I reflect back, I'm not sure we ever really ever got to a true root cause, probably because we were peeking ahead in that regard and we got excited about something, right? And then you put something in place, but 6 months later, you had a little bit bigger issue. The machine had a longer downtime. So the bill from the automotive customer, General Motors or Ford, was a lot higher that time in that regard. It can be difficult because of the external pressures that come at you.
Mm-hmm. That's correct. That's correct.
Mr. Robinson, if you think back about the book writing process itself, what's
Yeah.
been the most difficult part for you in getting the book just where you want it so you're just a few months away from release?
Yeah, the most difficult part, I had a phenomenal team, and that's one of the things that they told me, very early on with Rory Vaden. He said, Chris, there's no best-selling author, there's a best-selling team.
Mm.
And I thought, wow, that's phenomenal. So I've seen this work with John. John Maxwell works with this writer, Charlie Wetzel. He works with Linda Edgars, who handles everything. And so I've been fortunate to find my Linda and to find my Charlie. The process has been phenomenal. Rory, again, he gave me a great framework in order to write the book. I then found a phenomenal writer to work alongside me, and then I have a great executive partner that we don't call them assistants, executive partner, because she is not an assistant. She is a partner to me, and I would not get to do what I get to do without her. And we've been able to work together with a team of people, and that's what's really made this process fun and kind of helping me navigate through the process of getting it done. And so I wouldn't say that there's been anything difficult to it. It's not easy by any stretch of the imagination, but if you, I just every day, it's just what's the one thing I need to do today to move that thing forward, and we use the process, the 7 steps to get the book done. I mean, if I really have to look at it, I mean, it's the 7 steps.
So you live the process itself, framework wise, to get it to this point. So, as an author, or even as a coach or a trainer, you have an opportunity to bring your experiences as you're presenting here in the book from drift to drive.
Yeah.
But yet, it's the individual that has to make the commitment to take where they are in their journey. And each reader, each individual diving into the book is going to be at a different framework spot,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Yeah, correct. And we got a great assessment for that. So we have what's called the complacency assessment profile, and it's okay if I share it. I'll
Oh,
share the link
please
to
do. I
it. Yeah,
actually
yeah.
just took it, so
Ah,
uh,
okay, good.
I've got one in front of me here. So
Hey, there we go. Hold it up for me. Hold it up for me there. I
yeah,
want to
there you
see it
go.
printed out there. There we go. And so this is, a complacency assessment profile. And in this, it's a free quiz. If you go to the number two, drive.com, drift2drivequiz.com, what's going to happen is you'll be able to take this quiz, and then it's going to print out like a 5-page report for you on where you're at with complacency. Not just tell you where you're at, but give you some action steps that you can take in order to help lift yourself out of it. And that's free. That's without the book or anything. You can take that, and I know that'll be of value to
There's
you.
the action steps.
Action steps right there.
I found out that I have what is it, active tension between progress and passivity. So
Ooh.
I've got some work to do. Yeah.
Yes, we all do. I love it.
The quiz is fantastic and just top notch, Mr. Robinson. And again, is there something that you wanted to make sure we talked about regarding the book before we wrap up?
No, not at all. I mean, I think we covered a lot of ground in it. I think this book is going to impact a lot of people. I want to encourage everyone that's listening, go out, get the book on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, wherever books are sold. And I know it'll be of value to you. You're going to walk away with action steps, tools, resources to help you get moving in the direction that you want to go. But don't just get a book for yourself. Get it for your friends, get it for your family members. Invest into somebody else's life to help them move along as well.
And the book can be pre-ordered now, correct?
Yeah, sure can. You can get that at drift2drivebook.com, drift2drivebook.com.
I already have my copies ordered, and I'm excited and looking forward to getting a chance to read it front to back because I know it's going to be phenomenal because this individual on the screen, Chris Robinson, is just a phenomenal human being, leader,
Well, thank
a child of God, and just so impactful just to take a few moments. And Mr. Robinson, before I let you go, again, this is such an honor. I don't want to let you go. We could
Thank
spend the
you.
rest of the day and evening talking. But the Cardinals do have a game tonight you might want to catch.
Yes.
You know, you've got a son
Yes.
playing out of town you want to watch. What's one piece of advice for young leaders or individuals just starting out that when you look back over your life and what you know today, you would offer them?
Yeah, if I had to go back, I think about, I was hosting my very first conference and I was 31 years old. And I remember walking with a couple of the speakers and one of the guests, and there was like a 21-year-old that was there. And the gentleman said out loud, he goes, "Man, I wish I was 21 years old when I had started getting into this personal growth stuff." And I said, "Yeah, me too." And I go, "Wait a minute." Here I am hosting the event, the conference, but it was because I started that personal growth at 21 years old. I started listening to audios and tapes at the time and watching videos and going to conferences and events. And if I could say anything to anyone at any age, is start getting intentional about how and where you want to grow. And when you begin to do that, you begin to invest in yourself, more in yourself than you do on your job, you will always be ready to rise and be promotable on your job. So let's get out there, take some action, and let's get to growing.
Well said, my friend. How about you? What's your next action for growth? What's ahead? What's your challenge?
Yeah, so next action step for me is, of course, selling this book. It's one thing to write the book, but you got to do the big task of selling the book. And so each and every single day, I'm doing podcast, I'm doing promotions, we're going out speaking live. And so my focus for this time is adding value to people every single day and trying to get this book in the hands of people because I know with every fiber of my body that this is going to help a lot of people.
And Mr. Robinson, individuals who will get the book and would just love to say thank you or to offer some insight, how can they reach you? I know you're on social media, but what's the
Yeah.
best way they can reach out to you?
Yeah, absolutely. You can reach me on chrisrobinsonspeaker.com, chrisrobinsonspeaker.com. Of course, on Facebook and LinkedIn are the two places I hang out. So send me messages there, and we'd love to connect with you.
My friend, again, it's an honor to have this time with you. Thank you for all you've
Thank
shared. And
you.
God bless you for all you do. And our prayers are that the book reaches the people and the messages that you have set out for it to do.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Truly an honor.
And thank you for watching. And I know you're just going to love the book and this man. If you're not following him, if you're not a Maxwell member, look into it because Chris Robinson is an example of just a fantastic team. There's a number of other individuals, but Chris does a wonderful job and he's there. And you've heard the passion and positivity, and that's what Maxwell Leadership stands for. God bless you all. We love you as children of God. Have a great day. Thank you for joining us on Leadership Synergized. A huge thank you to my guest, Mr. Chris Robinson, Executive Vice President of Maxwell Leadership. Be sure to check out his powerful new book, Drift to Drive, a high achiever's guide to breaking the chains of complacency. If you found value in today's episode, share it with a fellow leader, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an opportunity to grow.